So if we rewind the tape to 2000, I was a miserable, micromanaged, 45-minute commute to work and back investment banker, specializing in mergers and acquisitions with private equity groups. And Kendall, it got so bad for me. I wouldn't get the Sunday blues anticipating Monday coming around. My firm hires this guy, and he's telling me that as a side hustle, he's buying up raw land, pennies on the dollar at tax deed auctions, and he's making a 300% return on his investment. I go to New Mexico with him. I do exactly what he tells me to do, and it worked. So I go to my wife, and she's pregnant. I said, honey, I'm going to quit my job and become a full-time land investor.
Ever considered that flipping land, not houses, might be your ticket to financial freedom? Today, we're doing a deep dive into our episode with Mark Podolsky, also known as the Land Geek. Mark has done over 6,000 land deals and created a system that generates serious cash flow without dealing with any tenants, toilets, or termites. We're going to dive exactly into how he's replaced his 9-to-5 with passive land income and how you can do the same.
So it took 18 months for the land investing income to exceed the investment banking income. I've been doing it full-time ever since. I've done over 6,000 transactions, and I absolutely love it.
Now, I want to be clear. Mark's journey wasn't an overnight success. He spent a year and a half proving to himself that land flipping could actually replace his salary. And that's what I love about his story. It's about patience and staying the course. He focused on making smart deals, gradually scaling his approach, and maintaining discipline until he finally hit that sweet spot of financial freedom. This isn't one of those get-rich-by-Tuesday schemes. It's about consistent strategic wins over time.
Just 5 years ago, no one even heard of raw land investing. Like, you couldn't think of a more boring niche. When you go on HGTV or the DIY network, there's no flip land. Before pictures raw land, the after pictures raw land. It's like boring. It's exciting days now that there's so much community and support in this, what I think is the best passive income model.
Yeah. So what do you contribute to land ramping up in popularity like it has in the last 5 years?
I think that, I don't know. I'm just guessing because I don't go to RIA meetings or any of those things, but I suspect that as the economy has been very hot in real estate for so long, it's just gotten more and more competitive in traditional real estate.
So you've probably noticed how crazy the real estate market has become, making traditional investing a real challenge. But land, it's still flying under the radar as an absolute gold mine. Mark's going to break down how recent economic trends and growing awareness have actually fueled this boom in land investing, creating massive opportunities for folks who are ready to jump in.
And now, as interest rates have crept up, and there's people out like me with a podcast and other folks like you talking about it, if you're in that space and you're competing and your margins are shrinking, you're dealing with the tenants and the toilets and the termites, you're like, wait a second, these guys and gals are doing really well and they don't have to deal with any of the headaches, and it's less competitive.
Let's face it, higher interest rates have made traditional real estate deals harder to finance, which cuts into investor profits. At the same time, competition for houses has driven prices through the roof, forcing investors to look elsewhere. That's where land investing comes in. It doesn't depend on bank financing. It avoids a lot of that market volatility, and it's still not on everyone's radar like traditional real estate is. Think about it. Unlike flipping houses, where you're consistently dealing with unexpected repairs and delays, land deals are refreshingly simple. No broken pipes in the middle of the night, no surprise roof replacements, no tenant drama. You can focus purely on finding great market opportunities rather than putting out fires with property maintenance. That's exactly why more people are turning to land as a predictable way to build wealth that actually scales. If you're finding value in this conversation, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your biggest takeaway so far?
So all I'm going to ask for is a $2,500 down payment to secure that 5-acre parcel. And then I'll make it a car payment. Let's say $197 a month, 9% interest for the next 72 months. So it's a one-time sale. I'm going to get my capital out on the down payment. I could go 6 to 10 months out. And then I'm getting $197 a month for the next 72 months at 9% interest, no renters, no rehabs, no renovations, no rodents. And because we're not dealing with a tenant, we're exempt from Dodd-Frank, RESPA, and the SAFE Act, all this owner's real estate legislation. So it's a simple game. Can we create enough passive income and enough land notes where our passive income exceeds our fixed expenses? And then we're working because we want to, not because we have to.
Mark's approach is all about making land ownership accessible while creating that long-term passive income we all want. Instead of just selling land outright, he finances it similar to a car loan, which makes it affordable for buyers while generating predictable monthly cash flow for him. This strategy has two massive advantages. First, cash recovery. The down payment often covers most or all of what he paid for the land, so he can quickly reinvest in new deals without waiting years to see his money again. Second, steady income. Instead of a one-time flip, seller financing lets him collect monthly payments with interest, just like having a rental property, but without any of the headaches of being a landlord. Let's dig a little deeper on this. This model works so well because land buyers typically can't get traditional mortgages, which means seller financing isn't just a nice option, it's often their only choice. This creates a pool of highly motivated buyers ready to work with you. Another huge plus, zero property management nightmares. With rentals, you're constantly dealing with tenant issues, maintenance calls, and ongoing property upkeep. But with land, once the paperwork is signed, you're completely hands-off. No evictions, no repairs, no unexpected costs eating into your profits. This strategy also benefits from inflation. As land values rise over time, your fixed rate notes stay the same, meaning the purchasing power of your future payments actually increases. In other words, your cash flow becomes even more valuable over time. That's why seller finance land sales can be such a game changer. Buyers get an affordable way to own land, and you build a scalable, passable. That's why seller finance land sales can be such a game changer. Buyers get an affordable way to own land, and you build a scalable, passive income stream with minimal risk. If you're looking for steady, long-term income without stock market volatility or the stress of managing tenants, this might be exactly what you've been searching for.
So for deal flow, we're going to look at mainly the direct mail. That's going to be our best, and we're going to get our best deal that way direct. Then the second way is wholesalers. Wholesalers are definitely going to be a great way for us to get deal flow. The third way is going to be realtors for bigger deals. And then what I call spreadsheet deals. So imagine you're a tax lien fund and you're not interested in the raw land, but because you've bought so much property at these auctions, you're stuck with land you don't know what to do with. It's a spreadsheet deal. They're not emotionally attached. You can get deal flow that way.
Mark highlights 4 key ways to find off-market land deals: direct mail, wholesalers, realtors, and tax lien funds. Let me break down why each of these approaches works so well. Direct mail. This remains the most effective method because you can reach motivated sellers directly. Many landowners live nowhere near their property and have zero emotional attachment to it. If they get an offer in the mail, especially if they're behind on taxes, they're often ready to sell at a steep discount. Mark really emphasizes consistency here. Keeping up with targeted direct mail campaigns leads to a steady flow of deals over time. Wholesalers. Here's something really interesting. House wholesalers frequently come across land deals, but often don't want them. By networking with these wholesalers, you can tap into these overlooked opportunities and buy land at wholesale prices without facing the competition you'd find in traditional real estate. Realtors for bigger deals. When you're ready for larger transactions, working with specialized land realtors can give you access to deals that never make it to the open market. These realtors often know about off-market listings and developers looking to liquidate land quickly. Tax lien funds. This is where you can find properties that institutions simply don't want anymore. Large tax lien funds acquire thousands of properties at auction, but they're primarily interested in houses, not vacant land. Since they often end up with land they never wanted, they're usually willing to sell it cheap just to get off of their books. Mark calls these spreadsheet deals because these funds aren't emotionally invested. They just want to clean up their inventory. The big takeaway, land investors who build relationships in all 4 areas create a pipeline of deals that never runs dry. Hey, if you want to connect with fellow land investors and get access to strategies we don't share publicly, come join our community at onlylandfansgroup.com. Again, that's onlylandfansgroup.com. Let's wrap up with the most powerful insights from our conversation with Mark and break down exactly how he's built a system that consistently generates wealth through land investing. Mark's story is pretty inspiring. He transitioned from a high-stress investment banking job into land flipping after discovering its incredible ROI potential. His very first deal brought him a 300% return, proving that land was this overlooked but incredibly profitable niche. The lesson here, you don't need to start with a huge bankroll, just a repeatable system and the ability to spot great deals when they come along. Why is land investing such a well-kept secret in real estate? Unlike houses, land requires absolutely no repairs, no tenants, and no maintenance. The land market still flies under the radar, meaning you face less competition and find better deals. While interest rates and rising home prices have made traditional real estate harder to break into, land remains affordable and easy to scale. How does Mark buy land at such huge discounts? His strategy? How does Mark buy land at such huge discounts? His strategy focuses on targeting motivated sellers who simply don't want their land anymore, especially those falling behind on property taxes. He typically buys at about 25% of market value and then sells using owner financing. This approach ensures low upfront investment while generating consistent long-term cash flow. When it comes to generating passive income through seller financing instead of flipping land for a one-time profit, Mark sells with financing terms that turns each deal into a predictable income stream. For example, a buyer might put down $2,500 and pay $197 monthly for 72 months at 9% interest, creating a reliable, hands-off revenue source that requires virtually no ongoing work. For finding off-market land deals and building a consistent pipeline, Mark relies on direct mail, wholesalers, realtors, and tax lien funds to keep deals flowing. Direct mail remains the best way for Mark to reach motivated sellers before they list publicly. Wholesalers and tax lien funds often have land deals they don't want to deal with anymore, making them great sources for discounted properties. My final takeaway for you: if you're looking for a real estate model that's low risk, highly profitable, and truly scalable, land investing deserves your full attention. Mark's process shows that anyone can generate wealth in this space if they know where to look and how to structure their deals. And that wraps up our deep dive into land investing with Mark Podolsky. If today's conversation has you thinking about land as your next investment move, now's the time to take action. Whether you're just starting out or looking to scale what you're already doing, these principles can set you up for long-term success. Want to hear even more strategies directly from Mark? The full, unedited conversation is available right now on our YouTube channel. Head over to watcholf.com to go deeper into the world of land investing. Again, that's watcholf.com. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We're constantly breaking down the best strategies, insights, and real-world success stories. So subscribe and turn on those notifications to stay ahead of the game. Keep improving your land business, and we'll catch you in the next one. Hey land fans, tired of sellers ghosting faster than your ex? Get ready. Our friend Ajay Sharma has created the ultimate program to transform your acquisition game. Land Closers Academy brings you weekly call reviews, a powerhouse community, and the proven system for turning leads into signed contracts. And check this out. Sign up now at olfclosers.com and you'll get my personal call review template that's crushing it with both my team and my coaching clients. This is the exact system we use to level up acquisition managers and consistently grow their closing skills. It's a game changer for managing your team. Ready to close more deals? Head to olfclosers.com and let's get you crushing it. Because the only thing getting ghosted should be your old closing rate. Boom.